Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Breakfast Club Live for the month of September. I still can't believe we are in the final stretch of 2022. We're excited to have you guys here. Good morning, Cranstons. Hello, Ann. Good morning. Hello, Lisa. Good morning, Mom. Hi, Gracie. Hi, Christy Mack. Hello, Ridgecrest crew. So Diana, Norma, Karen, Terry, and of course, Diana. So welcome, you guys. Let's see. Hello, Colleen. Jennifer, good morning. Hope all is well. Hello, Gail. Good morning, Sharon. Hope you're feeling better from yesterday. Good morning, Kelly. Hello, Terry, up in Lemoore. So we have a fun little breakfast club for you today. It might be a little bit shorter. I have noticed that a lot of people sent me messages for show and tell saying, we've been so busy wrapping things up, getting kids and grandkids back to school, and they haven't really been in their sewing rooms. Plus, it's been so darn hot here, and I'm sure in many other places, that a lot of us just didn't get into our sewing rooms. So we do have a great show and tell for you today, and some fun new stuff. Good morning, Tracy up in Oregon. Hello, Pat. Hello, Marvell. She got a breakfast club. Good morning, Elizabeth. So we are going to, we've got a great project. And actually, this project, we're going to show you how you can do it a couple different ways. So that'll be fun. And then we have some great new things that we have been working on. We have some stuff that we're already working on to wrap up the year, some new classes that we'll be offering both in person and virtual. We have a paper piecing retreat coming up at the end of this month. Let's see, what else do we have? All kinds of stuff. We've got quilt shows coming up, just a little bit of everything. So we are glad that you are here spending part of your Saturday morning with us. So what we'll do is, those of you that are new, welcome. We do a show and tell. We do give away prizes. Anybody is welcome to send in pictures to join our show and tell every month. That email address is photos@thimbletown.com. You can send those in. Also, you guys can always get a Breakfast Club kit each month. Should you choose, you just sign up for that online under our classes. A lot of you bought either a 6-month or a year-long subscription at a time, so you just get them in the mail automatically. And so that is kind of where we are. We do have prizes to give away today and all that good stuff. So let's just dive in to our show and tell. All right, so first up today is Susan up in Oregon. She did the Lazy Daisy table runner. So we introduced and showed this in Tipsy Tuesday, I don't know, a month and a half ago. So she used quite a variety and made a very scrappy project. I absolutely love it. It's very similar to the one that is shown on the pattern cover. We did it as an option for Halloween, and we also did a Christmas one. We have some other things we'd like to do with that. So nice job finishing that up, Susan. Clark and his three-dimensional embroidered creatures that he makes for all the seasons. So this is a really cute ghost with its top hat. So really like that guy. Christy has been... Oh, I said a ghost. Oh my gosh, the girls are laughing at me. I don't know why I saw that as a ghost. That is definitely a skeleton. I think I need another cup of coffee this morning. I couldn't figure out why the girls were like, a ghost? Yeah, that was definitely a skeleton. I just needed to make sure everybody was awake and on their toes this morning. That was my plan. So Christy has been busy. So she finished up a coffee quilt. This is a project that we have in the shop. I know she made that for her husband, John. She finished up her spiky table runner. So we showed this again, I believe, in a Tipsy Tuesday. We also did a virtual class on this and an in-person class. Christy took the in-person class. It has been really fun seeing everybody work on these projects and then taking and doing them for other seasons. So that's the spiky table runner. That is still available online. We have kits, patterns, and then it uses a ruler. I'll actually be teaching that class for a Quilt Guild in Lake Havasu in November. She finished last month's apple wall hanging. Once again, you could have turned this into a little wall hanging. You could have made it into a pillow, whatever you want. Really a fun project. And then Christy took our virtual Happy Fall Y'all class. This was a new embroidered banner from Fabric Confetti. So we had a virtual class last weekend for this, and we also did a trick or treat. Christy chose this one, so she got it all done and in time to put up. Sherry, my mom, has been busy. She has switched from Halloween to fall. So there's a new fall kind of modern wall hanging that she did. She also took the Fabric Confetti class. So this was really great. Vanessa herself taught this class, so she's out of Arizona. So it was really great for them to get hands-on with the designer of the project. So she got her table or wall hanging done. Oh, sorry, my computer decided to not respond there. So, all right, sorry about that. She also finished up last year's pillow. That was the Riley Blake Pillow of the Month. So that was for Halloween, the black cat on the fence. She also finished up her pumpkin one from the same program. Teresa, the note on this I thought was really great. So she finished her project. Now we designed this project as raw edge applique, and we did a demo on how to stitch it where it kind of looks like scribble stitching on the way down. Teresa took the opportunity to work on learning turned under applique. So she actually hand appliqued all of this and then hand quilted it using a big stitch. So it's really nice to see that you took a project and were able to use it to learn a technique. So we always like to see that, and it turned out really great. Your applique looks fantastic. Diana is, she finished hers, and then I don't know if you guys can tell, but she also quilted the apple shape in the four kind of quadrants around the center apple. So she added that on there, which I thought was a really fun and nice touch. Sue, who has moved up north, is finally back, kind of settled in and getting back into her sewing room. So Sue, we're happy to see you're able to sew again. So she finished up this quilt top. She said was ready to head out for long arming. She did this embroidered table topper. I thought that was really cute, the love. And then she also finished this Christmas project. I thought this was fun with the peppermints and the presents, the gingerbread men. So she got that done, and she said that was also ready to send out for long arming. Sandy is always famous for making bibs when there are going to be new babies. So this bibs, I should say, are for Alexander. Great job, Sandy. And the new, she finished up this adorable shark quilt. So that's going to be a fun gift for whoever's going to get that. Karen, part of the group over in Ridgecrest. So this was the embroidery. It's all about the hats and shoes. So we did this on a Mystery Monday last year and did it as a pillow. Her take on it was, instead of making it a pillow, she added a little larger border to it and just turned it into a table topper or a wall hanging. I love that the fabric that she used on the border is all witch's hat, so it's very perfectly themed fabric for this project. And Karen has been taking, I believe it's like a year-long or an extended long arm class, so she's been learning how to long arm quilt. So she did a lot of custom work and looks like some ruler work in this really fun candy corn table topper. So great job. It's been fun to watch Karen submit her pictures for show and tell and see her quilting evolve. She's a great quilter. Margie finished, this is the inside of a mesh tote bag. And then here is the outside. So coffee fabric, and then you'll see that that top is that mesh screen. So that's a really cute and fun project. Gloria up in Martinez, California, she also took the new Fabric Confetti Banner class. She usually submits quite a few projects each month, but once again, her email also said she's been busy working on other things and catching up. She was vacationing a lot this summer, so she did the trick or treat, and there is her finished banner. And then Cindy has finished up this great project, followed by a Halloween pillowcase. No, that's not Halloween. What is that? That Star Wars. See, guys, maybe I need to go back to bed. So a Star Wars pillowcase. I guess it was in Halloween colors, so I just assumed. Finished up this project and also this great tote bag. So once again, we had a fantastic show and tell. So we know that next month we'll have even more pictures as people kind of get back into their sewing rooms from wrapping up vacations and once again kidding kids back to school. Good morning, Kim. Hello, Laura. Oh, the heart quilt. Let's see, Linda Sue. Hello, Janet. Hello, Alice. So just wanted to see some people that also had jumped on. So as a reminder too, for those of you that are new, our Breakfast Club packages come to you every month. Amy, what do we have? 3 or 4 left this month? Amy says we have 4 left. So if you decide when you see our project today, if you would like to have a Breakfast Club, you won't be able to purchase it online. You'll have to call her after 10:30. And then she can get one either held for you to pick up in the store or we can ship it out. Once again, I'm excited about this one because you can do it in 2 different ways. We're going to show you that. And then if you change your colors and add one little thing we sent you, you can also have a completely different look. So that one is always fun. Good morning, Lori. I heard you're traveling and you're going to see your California friends in a couple days. Hello, Debbie up in Madeira. So we will go in. Hello, Helen. So we're going to go ahead and show you some of the new things we have. But I do want to give you guys one update. So we have had a very frustrating experience getting this book, which is the Boho Heart. We have a full sew along ready to go for you guys, and we're going to really take it up a notch. So I will be sending out an email. We have resecured the books. They are coming out of Australia. We paid an exorbitant amount of shipping to have them shipped a different method. So we should see those books in the next probably 7 to 10 days. Once we have them, we're going to get them out, and then we're going to start our sew along to make Boho Heart. Well, we will put more details about that. So those of you that may not have originally known what we were going to do with that, you will be able to join. But basically, we're going to do a 14-week sew along, and we're going to go through the ins and outs of all of the blocks for the Boho Heart. We are going to be adding prizes, and we're going to do a really, really fun time and really make up for this shipping delay that it really has been out of our control. I have been ready to do this now since we announced it. My blocks, my demos, it's all there. So let's dive into what we have for this month for you. So we're going to start with the newest table topper of the month. So you know we are doing the Riley Blake tabletop of the month. This is September. Remember, they always are working a couple months in advance so that you guys have time to get them done. I love all of the fall colors. It has an adorable piece, pumpkin border, 9 patches in the corner, but really fun textures and prints in the fabric. And once again, so that is the new table topper of the month. Those of you also that are new, as a reminder, Marissa has a tab on our online store that says Breakfast Club. So everything that we show you, you can find easily in there if there's anything that you may want to purchase. She's made it super easy to do that. We always have discussions when we're ordering fabric. So sometimes we order it online. There hasn't been a lot of reps as far as around through COVID. So a lot of stuff has been online that we order or through catalogs, we have seen some reps. We have this great new line. I love this print. I think we need to find a great bag pattern and see if we can't get Ann to do a new bag out of this. This is almost like it's painted. So it's got a very artsy feel to it. And what I think I was probably the most drawn to is when you look at this fabric, you have like all of the fun brush strokes. But look at how great some of the supporting fabrics are. So all of the, it's hash, but I don't know what you would, reminds me of a haystack, like if you saw kind of the haystack. But so you've got all the hash marks and you have that as a tonal. You have it in the gray. Look at how fun it is in the blues and golds and yellows, which just coordinates perfectly. There's some solids. So whether you want to do a quilt out of this, take a look at the pictures online because they really are, and it really is a beautiful fabric line. Even look at this, whether you're doing it as a binding, an inner border, handles on a bag. You've got all of that color, and you'll see we've got the blues that go with it. So everything. So a great complete line. I'm sure we'll come up with something to do with it, but we definitely wanted to show that off to you before we decided. We just got it out and it was ready to go. We saw on the slideshow, we did the trick or treat banner. So those of you that maybe are not part of Mystery Monday or had not seen it yet, there is a trick or treat banner. We also have the Happy Fall You All. These are banners that you can make in an afternoon. So, and when I say that, that is all of the quilting is done in the hoop. The quilting for the border is done in the hoop. We did just envelope them. That's how the designers did it. However, if you looked at the way Christy did hers, my mom did hers, they added binding to it. So there is always that option. When you get these kits from us, we actually did all the pre-cutting of your applique shapes. So all of the shapes have been cut out for you. So when you sit down and you do the little bit of prep work, which is some fusing, you go right to your embroidery machine. Everything else is done in the machine, and you guys will love it. So as you guys know, we did talk about Boho Heart. I am super, super excited for that to begin. I don't remember if we showed the Groovy Guitars before. I know we kind of talked about it, whether it was on a sale or on a Tipsy Tuesday. So Groovy Guitars is one of those really cool examples of how you look at something and then you put your own spin on it. And I've really been noticing that a lot lately. I just finished an embroidered quilt that looks absolutely nothing like the original. I completely switched the colors and I love it. So when you look at this pattern, which is Groovy Guitars, you're going to see that it is very, very arty. It's got a lot of it's just bright and it's a little bit in your face, and it's a fantastic project. I'm not sure that I would ever have made it in these colors. I saw this somewhere done in similar colors to what we did. So we did these all in the turquoises and the teals and the browns and the creams and kind of the golds. So Groovy Guitars is back in stock. What held this up is getting the oversized printing done. When I spoke with the designer, there is a full-size template in there, and getting that printed at a reasonable cost these days was a lot. So those are back. Groovy Guitar has always been popular. It is one of those quilts that you can make for any music lover in your life, and it really turns into an art piece. It is all raw edge applique. You can stitch that down. Ours is not stitched down. When we did ours, we quilted this on the long arm with I used something called sound waves. So we just wanted some movement in there, but we didn't want to take away from it. So anytime I'm looking at projects, I'm also thinking about how we're going to quilt them down the road. In previous collage quilts we've done a lot of just straight line quilting, and I like straight line quilting, but when the girls and I all talked about it, we just didn't think straight line quilting was the way to go. So we went into Sound Waves and absolutely love, love, love the way that it turned out. Another popular project that is back in stock is our spool snowman. So that pattern, so this comes as a complete kit. Unfortunately, if you make a second one, you just have to get an entire pattern because it comes with all of the wooden buttons, all of the floss, everything that you need to complete that. Now that is done on grid work, and we showed you guys grid work on a previous Breakfast Club where you're cutting everything into squares and then we're fusing it on and sewing it together. It was a really great technique. We have a couple more projects coming in the future that will use the same method along with all of the great embellishments. We've always found sometimes we see designers that use embellishments, but they aren't readily available to the public. So this designer, they make all of their embellishments. And so with that being said, when you get the pattern, you get everything in there that you need to make it. And it is another fast and fun holiday project. This is a fabric line that I think everybody should have in their stash. Whether you buy yardage, we do have a quilt that we are working on with this that you guys will see at the next Breakfast Club. But whether you buy this as yardage, you buy this as a fat quarter bundle, I always think this is one of those things everybody needs in their stash. And the reason I say that is all of the colors. So when we come in here, we've got several purples. We've got, what color would you call that? It's still purple, but it's not a bright purple, not fuchsia. But anyways, so when we go in, then we've got several shades of blues. So these are Tula Pink, and these are the tiny dots and stripes. So the small stripe and then the tiny dot. Then you go into the teals. You go into greens, into lighter greens. We go into the yellows. So you get the full rainbow. The reason I say that this should be in everybody's stash is those of us that machine and border, sometimes we need a bunch of little pieces of color, and this gives us dots, it gives us stripes, it gives us dimension when we're doing it. This is also just something that you can throw into a great and quick fat quarter project. So all kinds of things. So this is the tiny dots. They're actually called tiny coordinates. But it is the tiny dots and the tiny stripes. So we have them in fat quarters, and then we have them in the full line. So you guys have the full line in yardage if you guys need it for borders, more backgrounds, backings, great stash builder, and we love it. Going back to pictures on the covers, patterns. I just don't always think that they appeal to the majority of people. This was another one. Loved the shape. So those of you that joined us for Tipsy Tuesday, we talked about this, but we have a whole different audience here for Breakfast Club. So on this one, this cabin jewel pattern is a really fun, fast project to do. No binding on it. So it's just an enveloped project. But when I look at this is never any colors that would have gone on my dining room table. And so I wanted these to be more themed. So when I got this pattern and I was talking to Marissa, I said, let's look at this as themed. So you can do it for the holidays or maybe in a color range. If I was going to put this in my house, it would be definitely all in grays, whites, maybe a little bit of black or that, more of a charcoal gray. Maybe an accent color, but so if you want it for your house as far as the colors, very easy to do. But if you want a fun, fast project that you can turn around for the holidays, make in an afternoon. And when I say that, this really is, you can piece this together, I would say, in 4 or 5 hours. Those of you that sew really fast, cut really fast, and sit down nose of the grindstone, you can do it in a couple of hours. If you are curious of how it goes together, you can go back and watch our last Tipsy Tuesday. I did give you guys all of the tips and tricks for putting this runner together. We now have them all finished. You just envelope it, do a quick top stitch, and it's done. So we did a really fun Christmas one using all Kimberbell fabric, and then we did a really fun fall one. That is definitely the theme for today is fall. Our project's going to be fall. I showed you guys the new table topper of the month, which is all fall themed. We've got fall for embroidery, so it is just the time to start that. So I think that we will go in and go ahead and start talking about our new project. So as a reminder, we don't open our projects prior to. I have to adjust because I'm going to show you guys quite a few things and a couple of different ways for us to do them. So we will start by opening up the project today. So I'm going to open that up and we'll go through what is in there. I'm really excited about next month's project. It is a project that, while we may be making it holiday themed, it is something that you guys will be able to take this pattern and do it for any other time of the year, any special event. So we're really excited about what we put together. So obviously when you get your project, you guys are going to have all kinds of stuff in here. So we are going to start with, you guys have fusible fleece. Fusible fleece is my absolute favorite thing when it comes down to quilting small projects like table runners, wall hangings. We use it quite a bit in embroidery. So then you are going to have a whole bunch of 3-inch strips, okay, all in fall themed colors. So we've got 4 different oranges. And then we have some more 3-inch strips that are all in, these are all batiks. These are great, great prints on these. So you've got 4 different ones of those. You have some brown. You have some more brown. You have some black. We have Pellon 805 or Wonder Under. So just as a reminder on this, one side is rough, one side is smooth. The rough side is what you use to fuse. The smooth side is actually the release paper. So once you fuse it, that is what will release off. We have some backing fabric. We have a glue stick, because if we're sending you a project to do, we send you everything to do it except for the thread and your time to make that. And then we have grid. So we did use this grid in a previous Breakfast Club. As a reminder, the snowman spools are also made using this same technique. And it is one that is really a lot of fun. You can get some very precise corners and points with a whole lot of ease, regardless of what your sewing skill is. So our project for September is going to be this great pumpkin table runner, which is very scrappy, which we really, really love. And it turns out just perfect with all those points. There are half square triangles that you do make on that. This is how easy, once it's done, all we did is when we fused it and added our backing, we just did 1 stitch around each of the pumpkins for the quilting. Now you can go in and you can cross hatch it or do all kinds of things. So when you get your pattern, I'm going to talk to you guys about a couple different ways that you can do this. So you'll have to pay attention, those of you guys that are doing it, because there is an option that's not written into the pattern. So first of all, we'll start with, you are going to cut your 3-inch squares off of your strips of fabric, as noted in the pattern, before you cut your 1 7/8-inch strips, okay? So don't cut your strips. You need to cut the required amount of squares off of each of your 3-inch strips prior to cutting and making your smaller squares. So you will take your squares, you'll take a colored fabric, so that's going to be one of the oranges with one of the backgrounds. You will use it and do a traditional half square triangle, drawing a line from corner to corner and then sewing 1/4 of an inch from each side of that. You will then cut it apart and press it, and then you will square it down to the 1 7/8 inch strips. You will cut the rest of your fabric into 1 7/8 inch strips and then into 1 7/8 inch squares. We will be putting that on to the grid. And so Marissa has done a grid line out for you so you know exactly where everything goes. Those of you that haven't ever done anything with grid work, you are always using about 1/8 of an inch smaller than what your grid is that you're using, because it is going to be going into the seam allowance when you fold it. So you don't want fabric overlaying and getting extra in the bulk. Now this is a 1-inch grid, but you'll be using 4 squares at a time. So you'll be using 2 inches for every square that you make. So when it goes on, and this pumpkin is not correct size, we just did this one really quickly to show you. When you lay everything out, then you will fuse it. The reason we give you a glue stick is to go ahead and you can start to lay it out and just do a dab of glue to hold everything in place. Then when you look at it, if you need to do any rearranging because maybe you have too much color in one section, you can kind of move it around. It also allows you to put your half square triangles where they need to go and just make sure you're lining up and kind of eyeballing that corner to corner. When you then make this project, the way that you'll do this is I started and I did all the short sides first. So you're going to take that and you'll fold it right sides together and you'll see that it folds and you have a line, and then you sew 1/4 of an inch. When you continue on and you sew 1/4 of an inch on everything that you have, press it then all one direction, and then you will turn it and you will do the long ones. This is a project that does not take a lot of time, and you just have to lay things out, make it be scrappy. One of the fabrics is directional. So you don't want them all going one direction. Put some up and down, some going horizontally to really give you that fun scrappy look. Good morning, Gloria in New York, and hello, Amira. I hope she has fun at dance class today. Now, when we were making this, the question that I asked was, well, what if somebody wants to turn the pumpkins and make the pumpkins go vertical because they might want to hang it on a door or in a specific place in their house? They don't necessarily want to put it on a table. They might want to put it on a wall and hang it in possibly a different direction. That is absolutely possible to do. However, in order to achieve that, you have to still lay the pumpkins out on the grid that we provided in the horizontal. So it needs to still go this direction, okay? So you will actually lay them all out that way first, but you will not sew them, together until you do the following. So you'll lay them out, and then you're just going to take your scissors or your rotary cutter, and you are going to cut between the blocks. Now, if you look at your pattern, there is a figure that is just one block. This one block is then turns into the 3 blocks. So that is what one block will look like. This does not fit on the width of your grid in a vertical position. It only fits on it in a horizontal. So what you would do in that instance is you would take and you would make your pumpkins and you would lay them out, and then you would cut them apart in the middle. So right here, that's how it would have been, okay? So you would cut those apart, and then you're going to bring them this way, and you will just sew the 1/4 inch seam just like that. So the way that I would do it is I would make all 3 of them. I would start to sew my horizontal lines if I'm going to do it vertically. When I got down to here, I would add that piece on, and then I would continue to sew the horizontal lines. And then when I get to this one, I would add the 3rd one. So you can do this so that your pumpkins are horizontal. Okay, so that is an option for you to think about if this project would fit better in your home that way. Now, when we talked about this project initially, I said, well, what if we gave an option? So recently I did a poll in my Mystery Monday embroidery group. And it was really because I was working on these projects and I was trying to get a feel. I know I have people that just don't decorate for Halloween. So I was asking Halloween or fall, what do you guys like more, etc. So when we were doing this project, I originally had anticipated doing it as a Halloween project. But then I was like, well, and I'll just use Marvell as an example. Maybe Marvell doesn't do Halloween. So what we did, and then we get into color choices, and our colors for our pumpkins ended up much more fall than they ended up bright for like a jack-o'-lantern. So if you wanted to do this, we added on the back of your pattern the graphics with 3 different jack-o'-lantern faces. So the jack-o'-lantern faces will use your black fabric that we included in the kit along with the Wonder Under. So you would trace those faces onto the Wonder Under, you would fuse it onto the black fabric, and then you would cut those out. So now you can take this pattern, and if you want to make these into jack-o'-lanterns the colors they are, that is fantastic. If you don't want to make them into jack-o'-lanterns with this color because you want it as fall, but you want to get into your stash and get some brighter oranges, you can. So what will happen is, and I'm just going to kind of give you guys just a little tiny example of what it would look like if I did this as a jack-o'-lantern. And I'm hoping these will stay. The girls are over there thinking, Jeremy, those are not going to stay. They did. So let me just give you an idea. If you want to turn your pumpkins into jack-o'-lanterns, we gave you everything that you need to do that. And you will see this went from a fall table runner to a Halloween table runner. Now, Jeremy said that I needed to come up with a way to like Velcro these on so you could put it up and then Velcro the faces on and then take them off and then you wouldn't need to make 2. But that is definitely going to be a choice. So we added those in for you guys to make it either way. So we are always trying to come up with new things and give you as many options. I will be very excited to see what you guys do with these on our next show and tell to make them uniquely your own. I think you guys can add some 3D embellishments like some leaves to the pumpkins. There's all kinds of things you can do with it. So I hope you like it. And I hope you guys have fun with it. And I'm going to be very, very anxious to see. Our next Breakfast Club is going to be October 8th, I believe. So October 8th, we'll put that graphic on the screen. You will, we'll hope you'll join us there. Oh, yes. So Marissa wanted me to remind you guys, Breakfast Club is a little bit, she was over there doing a dance. I wish that we could have like a B-roll camera that was like secret and I can just show you what happens behind the scenes here. Because there are sometimes, excuse me, that I just can't really keep it together because I want to laugh. I look at their facial expressions. They're trying to get ahead of me. They're trying to tell me something. So I really wish we could have a B-roll camera. If I did, they'd all quit and I'd never hear from them ever again. And so, I mean, it's really not an option, but I'm just telling you guys, I really wish you could see what happens on that half of the room. Tracy, I'll let Jeremy know that you thought that that was a really good idea. Christy likes that idea. So the pattern kit, if you're talking about this one, Debbie, you'll just have to call Amy and do that over the phone. It's no longer available to purchase. There are only 4 kits left for Breakfast Club. They're $35. If you guys want next month's kit and you're not already on our subscription, make sure that you go online and sign up. So we give away a $20 gift certificate for our show and tell. And then we give away either the next Breakfast Club or the equivalent in a gift certificate if you are already a member. Okay, so our winner for our show and tell is Sandy Gong. So congratulations, Sandy. You are the lucky draw today. And Marvell Pruitt is the lucky Breakfast Club winner. So she is on subscription, so we'll just add you in, or Amy will get you a gift certificate, Marvell. You can pick it up in the store or she'll email it to you. So don't forget to join us October 8th for Breakfast Club. It is going to be a week early. That's just how it worked out in our calendar. We're excited for that. I hope you guys have a great Saturday. Fall is just around the corner. I'm pretty sure Kern County is going to get another hot spell because the fair starts next week, and we always get rain one day, and we always get stupid hot temperatures again. So hopefully we're just about past this heat. Have a great day, everybody. I'm going to leave from here, and I'm going to go teach a virtual class right after this. So those of you that are online and joining me there, I will see you in about 20-30 minutes whenever that class starts. Have a great Saturday, everybody, and we will talk to you guys all soon.